going to be looking at the state of the nation, on the policy direction of the president, and how he's targeting the economic recovery as stated in his economic blueprint for the country. And joining me to discuss this quickly, starting from my extreme left, I have a Notary Republic of Nigeria constitutional lawyer and former SSA to the governor of Edo State on legal matters, and he is Adams Aliyu. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much, moderator. Good day, viewers.
And close to the former senior special assistant to the governor on legal matters is a legal practitioner and also a clergyman, Greg Iyayi. Thanks for coming, Greg.
Good morning, Philip. Good morning, viewers and listeners.
Of course, looking at the need for us to x-ray the policy direction of the president as regards economic recovery, basically we will be in need of, someone who we can see will savage the issue as regards the petroleum industry and how the deregulation is going on. And joining me via Zoom is the IPMAN chairman, Edo chapter, Douglas Iyeke. Good morning, Douglas.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, Douglas is joining me via audio, and we also have Collins Amadi, the former SSA to the governor of Edo State on youth and development. Comrade Collins Osagai Amadi joining me via Zoom. Good morning, Collins.
Yeah, good morning, Philip. Thank you for having me. Right. Nigerians, I greet all of you wherever you are.
Okay. So listeners on independent radio and of course viewers on ITV, as the show progresses, we basically will be having the numbers writing on the screen for you to call us, and we verbalize that for our listeners on independent radio to join quickly. Basically, let's start with you, Douglas Iyeke, the Edo State chapter chairman of IPMAN. We're looking at issues surrounding the economic recovery and looking at the blueprint of the president and his announcement on the day of inauguration where he said, fuel subsidy gone. You agree with me that there has been issues surrounding how, epileptic fuel supply has been circulated. And of course, the skyrocketing prices of petrol. Nigerians are thinking hard if there will be hope that with the recent policy and interventions of the government in helping independent marketers, lift product, even from the Dangote Refinery, and of course, an early start of the, Port Harcourt Refinery, though there are issues surrounding that, which NNPCL said is basically and exclusively for the NNPCL filling stations. So what do you say, or what do you have, or what's your perception as regards how independent marketers are faring? And of course, the subsidy removal, how do you see it in terms of affecting the supply of petrol to the general public in Nigeria?
Thank you very much, Mr. Philip Omokipon. The truth of the matter is I have to first and foremost thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Ahmed Bola Tinubu, for the removal of fuel subsidy. Because, sometimes when things start from beginning, it looks so very elusive. But with time, things start taking shape. As they are looking to do right now, the fuel subsidy has changed the narrative in the petroleum sector. Fine, good. Before now, NNPC were the one important product, to this country for marketers to be able to access product. But you can see for today now that if Dangote Refinery, who has put all the machinery in place to make sure that there is a local production here in our country. So that is also a big impact because, and you also know that before now there were serious issues between IPMAN and NNPC, and you know that NNPC is also a marketer, just like us. We too, they are retailers, and there were issues that they want to be selling product to us directly, from Dangote, instead of us buying directly from Dangote Refinery. So that was an issue for several months, which have been told with the intervention of the president of this country, Alhaji Ahmed, with the NNPC, were able to, were put on check, and they were able to subpoena that IPMAN, would not be buying directly from NNPC. And also, Federal Republic of Nigeria has also given that, opportunity for IPMAN to also import product. So this issue of fuel hike in petroleum product, which is a premium motor spirit, it's a thing that will come to the pass sooner or later. Because the price, as you see, as at some about a month ago, the Dangote Refinery came up with the price of 919 naira, to be, for purchase of a liter of PMS. But as of 2 weeks ago, you can also find out that Dangote has reduced the price to 970. So there's going to be a competition in due time. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, in as much as we are getting the product locally, and I'm assuring you that the price may even go down to up to 200 naira per liter. So IPMAN, we sincerely thank the president for all that he's been doing. I want to thank our national president of IPMAN, to Alhaji Abubakar Shetima Gerima, who has put on measures in place to make sure that IPMAN, as a first #1 stakeholder of the petroleum downstream sector, has been doing everything possible to make sure that marketers will get their product as at when due. So these are the situation of that. So we are happy. We are okay. We know that the price is high for now, but we know that with time the price is going to go down.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you, Douglas. Again, what you just said, you've given an assurance that there will be, the reduction of the price of petrol as competition heats up. And you also gave the impression that you don't have any challenges as regards, the intervention policy of the government so far. Is that what you mean?
Yes, when the intervention of the government policy is not okay by us, we would have also come up to also tell you that yes, it's not okay. So the policy for us, we are okay, and because it's going to change so many things. Citizens sometimes, they look at situation, like I said earlier on, and sometimes these things can be something that they would see as something very much in the beginning, but at the time goes on, is going to be beating of the past, and we know that all Nigerians are going to smile. You know what I'm saying? So, and you can also know that we are also working on CNG as well, too, which is another alternative for us, not just only PMS. We're also working on working on CNG with the federal government of this country, through the president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu. So there are so many issues we have to make sure that we alleviate the suffering of Nigerians in terms of issue of product, and also like that. So that's the position.
Thank you, Douglas Iyeke. But before I let you go quickly, you just took that question out of my mind, because I was to ask you as regards the CNG and, of course, the policy of the president in that direction. Some have said that it's going to be a slow, recovery in this regard for people to get their kits, into their vehicles, because for now it's still very expensive, and we still have very, very few, filling stations, CNG filling stations across the country. Do you see that as a challenge that could, impoverish the citizens more?
Yes, it's not going to be a challenge because it's just starting gradually. Because I'm assuring you that, as you know, IPMAN is, like I said, over 40,000 athletes here in this country. So we are putting down measures to make sure that all filling stations are having CNG, gas, equipment to convert from PMS to CNG, and also sell CNG gas for motorists. So that won't be a problem at all. So it's not going to be a setback. So IPMAN is on ground to assist, the federal government in making sure that because there's already a collaboration, IPMAN will be the marketer can distribute these products.
Okay.
Yes, through our outlets. So most outlets that are PMS, that are selling PMS, that we are going to install CNG gas station in most of the outlets. So
Thank
there
you.
are already complaint names of marketers, especially for example in those states now. I've complaint names already. We've complaint names, so I'm sent to Abuja based on those stations that we are going to use for CNG. They will be be doing conversion at the same time selling CNG gas.
Okay.
So you see the price to convert CNG is going to reduce. For now, the kits for CNG is just $100. So a lot of people don't know. It's very cheap. It costs $100 to get the CNG kits. Both the cylinder and the kits convert.
Thank you, Douglas Iyike. Big thanks for your articulation on this. At least you've given hope to Nigerians that in the days coming, there will be a reduction in the price of petrol due to the intervention of the federal government and the policy direction towards this economic recovery in Nigeria. Big thanks also for taking our time to be part of this, and I wish you a beautiful day ahead of you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, let's get your perception, Adams Ali. We just got the testimony of the IPMA chairman, Edo State chapter, Douglas Iyike, and it seemed to give us some green light that the policy direction of the president as regards, the fuel subsidy removal and how to bring a balance in the economy in the country seems to be, having some recovery in that direction. What's your perception?
Well, I listen and I see with amusement the rhetorics, the playing on economic terms and econometrics, deregulation, subsidy removal, upstream, downstream, demand, supply, privatization, etc. These are economic terms. I know my people, Nigerians. They say videlus est credulus. Seeing is believing. Vide, video, to see. Credible, credulous, to believe. Until they see signs and wonders like Thomas Didymus, they will not believe. When they go to the fuel station, in the gas station, they buy fuel at minimal and reasonable price. Then they will know the fact behind all these rhetorics, refinery working today, not working tomorrow, upstream, downstream, inflation, demand, supply, macro, micro. These are economic terms.
Okay.
So which is when fuel is reduced, transportation will be affected, commodity will be affected. People can now go to market with their naira and buy things.
Okay.
It's when they see that, they be satisfied,
Okay.
and be happy.
Okay. If we are to sum up what you just said generally, if we are to sum it up,
Yes.
briefly, you mean to say that those could just be rhetorics, mere talk?
Yes.
And that Nigerians are waiting to see this reflect
The results.
in their pockets.
Yes.
And see how this can, improve their welfare.
That's
Thank
it.
you. Let's get a bite on that. Greg.
And then I want to align with the idea that he has espoused.
Yeah.
And actually, is when we start seeing the practical effects of these policies. Economic terms are very easy to spew around. But when it comes to the reality that I get to the gas station, we know where we are coming from. We know what the price of fuel was, the pump price where we are coming from, and what it is now. Till either you take us back to that very place, or at least very close to it, then we can start seeing that all these things are working. And there's something that the IPMA chairman said. He said the price of getting the kits at the moment is
about $100.
It's about $100. What if the price of dollar goes up? Then it means that the price of getting the kit will go up. Then it means the price of getting the CNG gas will also invariably go up. So I wouldn't want to jump and shout hallelujah for now.
It's one thing to get the kits again, it's another to install it.
It's another.
Are there no fees for installation?
Of course, there are installation fees. And then you also have to think of the expertise, because what happened at AEI the other time, it was bad workmanship. Not of the CNG gas station, but the people that installed it. And also the quality. Because what the station owner came out to say, or the manager, was that cylinder was of low quality. That's another thing we have to worry about. How do you regulate the quality? And then who is going to certify it as being standard or not being standard? So those are the things that really bother our mind.
Okay.
And for now, we should not be, it's not yet Uhuru. Let's just watch and see, because the practical effect is what will really benefit the masses.
Thank you. Let's get to you, Collins Amadin, because a lot has been said by Nigerians that we've had this turnaround maintenance on our refineries, you know, year in, year out. And it seems to be a roller coaster ride. It seems to be that government and its policies really taking Nigerians for a ride and not giving Nigerians what they really demand and need. Now we have the Port Harcourt Refinery that was announced by NNPCL has started. But again, we're still having some hitches, some hiccups in that regard on how these products can be lifted from the Port Harcourt Refinery. We keep hearing from Grapevine that even the loading of trucks that was witnessed was as a result of the dead stock taken from the refinery and not really products. And again, we also hear announcement by the NNPCL saying that these products are exclusively for now for the filling stations of NNPCL. So can you see these policies as really bringing hope for Nigerians, or is just another roller coaster ride?
Sorry, in a second, can you go back? I think while you were asking the question, the network got interrupted. So please.
Oh, well, I asked you the policies of the federal government as regards the regulation of the downstream sector. How impactful is it so far on Nigerians? And I gave a very, very vivid example with the refinery at Port Harcourt that has been kick-started, but somehow there seems to be some direction in the fact that even the products are not really the products that are needed for now, because they witnessed that some trucks loaded from that refinery, but that the products that it took were dead stock as a result of what we got from Grapevine. But again, even the NNPCL, even worsening matters, is also saying that these products are exclusively for the filling stations of NNPCL and not for the other marketers to circulate for the general public. Do you see this as hope for Nigerians going forward?
I have over the time said Nigerians must be strategically positioned to gain the dividends to which we have always asked for from the government of President President Tinubu. He is very committed. And the only thing we need to do is to indeed point the torchlight to those he have assigned to assist him in delivering the dividends of democracy. I told my friend when Dangote Refinery and some members or leaders in the NNPC were having issues, I said this is going to be the turning point of Nigeria refinery working. Because sometimes our head does not need to go in the same direction. And when our head does not go in the same direction, that means the possibility of getting there, you know, is near.
Well, as soon as we establish connection with Collins Amadi.
Okay.
Network became expedient. And in such an action, the gain thereof is what we have not seen with the Port Harcourt Refinery. The president is very committed to helping the common man, but he alone can't do it. Seeing Port Harcourt Refinery come on stream is a laudable achievement for us Nigerians, because over the years we have cried and said, let us just have something of ours. Yes, good and fine, because they are just starting. They may not have the capacity indeed to refine more that will serve all, but in also not to make the Dangote refinery redundant. They have to also do it in a way that most of their customers or assumed customers should also go and tender their loyalty or buy from him in order to also encourage the Dangote refinery as it were. But however, I know very soon they will make more production and all other refineries will be working. Okay. And all other depots across the country should also be able to get direct supply without this moving of truck from one state to another. Because first, most of our roads are death traps too. Because if they also consider what it costs them to go carrying product maybe from Port Harcourt and start carrying it to Lagos or carrying it to another state too. It costs so much too, and all of that still come into the head of the final consumer, which is with the ordinary buyer. But however, I think is a good step in the right direction. We pray that God will give him more strength. Just as we have seen this war, Nigerians must wake up more. We must continue to ask our leaders questions. We must challenge them to being active. Because just like we've also heard of the student loan, for example, I expect the NAS itself or the student leadership to begin to work closely with the Ministry of Youth and ask the Minister for Youth a better question in order for them to have what to say to all Nigerians. Because the president indeed have made provision for some of these things to kick off. Those who are to help to kick it off becomes the problem when they are not active. So we must make them active. Now, Port Harcourt Refinery is working. We believe that Kaduna and other refineries too will become active in earnest. Because that's the only way to go.
Thank you, Collins. Let's get to you, Adams. We're dwelling on this issue as regards, fuel subsidy removal, because it seems to be the life wire of which, other sectors, revolve, because we look at that challenge. So how do we tackle the issue of even the minimum wage, for instance, that a lot of workers are saying that it's not even enough to take them home? The inflationary effects are much more.
When you talk of removal replacements, those are big grammar, which the ordinary people are not interested in. Let the fuel come down and let there be peace. Right now, Christmas is coming. People don't know whether they will be able to buy bags of rice or food to eat. And that one has dovetailed to increase even 70,000 from minimum wage 30 to 70. Yet people are still complaining. I know that this administration is an experienced one. The president, former senator, former governor, he has passed through the mill, and he knows he still has about 2.5 years in the first tenure to ameliorate and regularize things. If not, it will be very difficult because times are hard. The truth must be said. Let things come down. Fuel is the main panacea. If it comes down, it has a DHC effect on all other commodities. Then we shall be talking. But I have hope, since he has promised Nigerians that he is equally sorry for us that we are suffering, let me hope he can do something in the next 2.5 years of this service.
Okay, still on minimum wage, about 33 states and the Federal Capital Territory have already agreed in paying that, but some states are still dragging, about 2 or 3 states are still dragging. Now, what do you make of the difference, and how can workers really breathe, most especially as the policies of the country, of the government, seems not to be giving them, a healthy start in this direction?
Yes, the policies are quite financially suffocating for the individual. For instance, when we are talking of minimum wage, we are talking of 70,000. Okay, if people actually earn 70,000 in the Nigeria we are living in today, you look at the cost, as my learned senior has said, of stuff. Feeding is not negotiable. We are here because our stomachs are lit to some extent. Food. You are hungry, you are angry, and you can do nothing. And then also, transportation. So why should some of these governors be stalling? Because I feel that what they just need to do is to prioritize their expenditure, because there are certain areas of waste. And then there are some areas that at least they can prune and be very frugal and be able to meet they should crack their heads. Because what I keep saying, if this nation fought a civil war and we did not borrow a kobo, we did not owe any country, the management of resources we had was what made such a thing possible. Now we are not at war. Now we don't have all those challenges that world situations have. And we cannot pay all those wage increments were done by the military, Udoji Award and others. Then what is the big deal about paying 70,000? It's just for you to look at those areas where you can adjust expenditure. And the government should also have, certain things that bring in money for them. Because a lot of our governors, they don't think of, establishing things that can bring money for them. It's only how to tax the ones that are already on ground. So I think they should begin to, labor should insist. I believe that 70,000 is payable.
Okay.
If it could be done in this state without pressure, by a governor who was not pressurized, was not challenged, was not asked, and he did it consistently. We are not a very, very rich state compared to states like Lagos, Rivers, and others. So let the governors crack their heads, get the economic team together, and then get their kitchen cabinet together, and then find a solution for the people. The people are just asking for what is minimum.
Okay. Well, let's quickly get to you, Collins Abade. We also understand the need for the government to look at unions, like even market unions and other unions that seem to increase the prices of commodities and products. These are not really helping Nigerians. We also understand that even the Senator Mondo Okpebholo's administration in Edo State is in that direction to make sure that it tackles the challenges that unions come with in terms of skyrocketing the prices of commodities. What do you see in this light as an intervention policy that the government should do in order to ameliorate the plight of Nigerians?
I personally want to thank His Excellency Senator Governor Mondo Okpebholo, because he's already making some of us so proud beyond our own imagination. Even though some of us did campaign because we knew what he was capable of doing, but he's really living up to that standard to which we believe he will. Now, completely scrapping and making it an offense for there to be unions and associations inside the market should be enacted even by the State House of Assembly in Edo State, because their activities became something else. Somebody calls himself the market leader. Before you know what's happening, he's riding on 3 Rolls Royces and what have you. Every shade, every line remits a certain amount at the end of every month into one's individual's account. They become too politically oriented and they lost concentration, that even the reason why they even came together was for the betterment and the welfare of themselves. But instead, they started inflicting pains on the ordinary people. You make produce from your backyard or from your farm. You can't go to the market and sell it as cheap as you can and just take something and go and eat the remaining one because you do not belong to union. They go get rice from Lagos or from wherever. The union says everybody must sell at a particular price. If it is not 120,000 and you are caught selling less than, you will be fined. What is all that about? That is ill system of life, wickedness. That is where our people almost got into. But we thank God today for that. And two, when we talk about the civil servant, we have always, Nigerians and those who are in need, always have a way of wrapping issues when they say 70,000. In short, governors and those in authority must make civil servants, majority of civil servants, be up and doing. Because the truth is that many of them get to office and they press for money tonight and they go home without also being productive. It's not just to ask for 70,000 or above 70,000 and nothing is coming in from your table. The governor must also put in commissioners, for example, or ministers into which can go far and really see the productivity of their ministries. Because it is when you give that you expect. But beyond that, it's also led to give them rules of engagement. You have to re-energize them and reposition them to be active. And I think that is also very important. And now, when we talk about 70,000, it doesn't really mean that 70,000 is what they go home with. For those who haven't worked within ministry or within, but those who are calling for it, we want to make it as if it's 70,000. It is being multiplied by your rank and by the years you have spent. Do you know there are some civil servants that go home with close to 1 million or even more than every month, depending on your position, depending on how many years you have spent in services? So, but they don't say all of this. They just make you look like it's 70,000 naira. No, I do not think there is even any any civil servant across in this state or even outside this state that is any 70,000 at the end of the month as a salary. They usually do the multiplication, and at the end of the day, maybe the lowest civil servant we even have today maybe receiving 200 something thousand or 300,000 or close to 200,000 if you are a cleaner. But also just to say that the body is in government. Who is the government? We are the government. And two, if you go to office and you press for money till 9, all you can do is to ginger union or your union groups to start saying, let us ask for more. But you also ask yourself, in that ministry where you are in, what are the returns within a physical year from your ministry? What did you people bring in, either as a way of IGRO that comes into government, or what are your productivity? Those are the things we must ask. If you are a cleaner, for example, do you go to government premises, for example, and you see diligent job, or these things are still being managed by consultants? Because there are local cleaners, for example, or cleaners as a way of staff, ordinary that are employed as a day and day running of government institutions. And yet, those people are not doing what they are doing. Extra consultant is brought in, extra money is brought in, you pay people and they wear some set of different uniform as a cleaning company. They are also being hired again by government. Yet there were people that were hired by government at their way of coming in, even maybe as not having a degree,
Okay.
or to come in as a, they end up not doing anything.
Okay, Collins
so I
Amadi.
think it is beyond just crying for high pay.
Yeah.
We also need to rejuvenate, reactivate our commitment for government to earn more money, so they can confidently pay more money.
Let me quickly cut in. You still have the floor. You know, we have a challenge where some who didn't even go to school, who didn't come up with a degree, are given that basic start of 70,000 naira as a minimum wage. Now, how do they cope, most especially with families? Don't you see this as too low for them as compared to, other government workers that can take like over 1 million home? So how do we mitigate this gap? Aren't you looking in that direction?
No.
Yes, that is what I have said before. That is why there must be a close mark in all of this. When 50 people are in a particular ministry, from the permanent secretary to director to what have you, to clerk or to the cleaner, everyone is active, morning till evening. You can be sure that even when you are asking for a pay, you can have a full right to ask for. But I will also tell you, there is nobody that goes home with 70,000. What we are even supposed to yearn for more. Because the truth is that we have very few hands in civil service.
All right, thank you.
Majority of Nigerians are not working outside their own private hustling every day. There are many with a lot of degree, they don't even have opportunity to work. While you have some that have opportunity to work, they just go there, they sign register and they go home. Go to local government ministries and see the abysmal situations that are there. These are not, for things to move on, we must call the spade and ride out to the challenges and make people be active and be happy to also pay them a higher pay.
Thank you, Collins. As we progress, we expect that you call us. The number will be placed on the screen for viewers on independent television to join, and of course, verbalized for independent radio listeners to join. Let's get your thoughts. What do you see as the right strategy or alternative in terms of policy formulation and implementation to take Nigerians out of this hardship that we are presently faced with under the leadership of Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Oh, well, yes. When we generalize it on a national scale, we talk about Nigeria. But to domesticate it, as you said, you mentioned along the line, the dissolution of the market union, because people go to the market. Every day one has to go to the market to feed and buy necessities. The Constitution, Chapter 4, Section 33 to 45, talk of fundamental human rights, freedom of association, movement, religion. So ipso facto, people are free to be in any union.
Okay.
But the union in the market has become exploitative, punitive, vindictive to the detriment of the common man. In that unnecessary association, tomatoes union, pepper union, they will now put a minimum price for which you should sell Whereas if I go to the village to buy tomato, you don't know how much I bought it. I should be allowed to sell it at the amount I want after making minimal gain.
Okay.
But these unions will put a barrier. If you sell it lower than that, they will attack you, seize your utensils.
So that's an intervention that the federal government and even the state, just like what Senator Mondo Pawolo is doing in the state, as the governor of the state. So this is an intervention that should be embarked upon.
Yeah, so they should, so we say, I pari delicto, pari tu, delicto wrong. The two people along in Edo State, over 2 or 3 leaders were claiming to be leaders, so they have been dissolved, and at the appropriate time, they will reconstitute and have a unified system.
Okay.
And they should not interfere and put a barrier, minimum cost on things. They should allow every member of the union to sell at his or her own convenience, because they don't buy at the same time. They don't buy at the same rate.
Thank you.
They
Thank you,
move to
Adams.
sell at the same rate.
Thank you, Adams. It's politics today, and we will be having your calls poured at us as we take a short break, after which we continue on the frontiers of the discussion. Do stay.
As the year gradually draws to an end, it's time to celebrate the moments that made us stronger and the people who made it all worthwhile. Independent Television and Radio invites our esteemed management and staff and our treasured customers to an exclusive end-of-year dinner party and award ceremony. Date 29th December 2024. Venue Uyi Grand Event Center. Time 4 p.m. prompt. Let's come together for an evening of gratitude, laughter, celebration, entertainment, and unforgettable memories. ITV and Radio end-of-year party and award ceremony. A time to reflect, reconnect, and unwind.
Thank you very much. It's still politics today. Let's get your perception as regards how the government can bring an alternative in terms of policy formulation and implementation in order to ameliorate the plight of Nigerians.
I think one of the areas the government should look at, what has been done concerning the market unions is laudable. Market unions can exist, but they cannot be fixing the minimum price for the products. That is evil, and that is very, very unfair. And then the government should visit the transportation sector, because we have very serious problems there. And these transport unions, there are many, there are very many, some for keke, some for bus, and so on. And they have a lot of fees that they charge. So at the end of the day, you see the bus driver or the commercial motorist is actually burdened with a lot of fees to pay. And that makes transport to be very, very high.
Thank you.
So
thank
the government should visit that area of transportation.
Thank you very much. A big thanks, Greg Iyayi, who is a barrister at law. A big thanks also the constitutional lawyer, Notary Public of Nigeria, Adams Aliyu. And big thanks to you, Collins Amadi. There's the much we can take on today's conversation on politics today.